win against Vantage of the Boo Boys this afternoon, as Gerwyn Price looks to follow wins for Darren Webster, James Wade and Justin Piper to reach the halfway stage of the afternoon session. And Dan Dawson has rejoined me to talk you through it.
Yeah, well, an extraordinarily gritty and determined display from Justin Piper there to knock out the #2 seed. We will not see a repeat of last year where the top 2 seeds met in the final. That was Michael van Gerwen versus Peter Wright. We could see Michael van Gerwen make it through to the final. And we could see Michael van Gerwen taking on Peter Wright in that final. But Peter Wright not the 2nd seed, of course. #3 seed here this weekend. Gerwyn Price #9, and as you say, one of the 4 men in darts right now. Although I have to say, the last couple of weeks hasn't been quite as impressive, has it?
125.
No, it hasn't. But his form over the course, there is an argument saying he is the in-form player of the year. Although I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 that would disagree with that. In particular, Michael van Gerwen, who, in amongst it all, has picked up titles. And
83.
one player who hasn't picked up any titles but has produced the goods week in, week out is Rob Cross.
Well, that's it. How do you measure form? 180 for Gerwyn Price. Is it the number of titles you win? Is it the performances you put in? Is it the type of titles you win? I mean, Nathan Aspinall's won a major title this year. Gerwyn Price hasn't. Double 12. Yeah, well, that does look like the Gerwyn Price we've come to expect. 14 darter, 1-0. S.Taylor should not be written off in this one because, as we said in his first round win, he has these days where things just click, and he really does look top class. He averaged just over 91 in seeing off Fabian Hertz. It was not one of those days where he looked top class, but there was some good stuff.
100.
Yeah, a couple of maximums for Taylor yesterday.
140.
It was in and out, wasn't it, the performance?
And in and out may not be enough against Gerwyn Price. It's got to be in.
97.
Price has lost his last 2 in the Premier League and slips out of the playoff positions. But it is
121.
a marked improvement on his performances in that tournament last year. The bizarre thing about that was that away from the Premier League, where he was struggling this time last year, he was producing the goods on the Euro Tour. Can he produce a ton check out here on double 10?
90.
Not quite, but he will have more attempts at 10.
100. You require 10.
Decides to split, and it works out for him. 10 taken out in 2 darts on double 4. And Gerwyn Price does break the throw. One of the things that is kind of new to Gerwyn Price over the last sort of, well, this year really, and it has coincided with him
58.
playing significantly better. He's much more willing to leave things like double 16, double 8, doubles that he doesn't.
58.
Previously, he would do anything he could to avoid. He seems much more willing to do it. Now, I think that's obviously reflective of a change in tactics, in strategy for Gerwyn Price. But I don't know if it's also reflective in a change. Maybe he's decided, well, if I'm going to do that, I've got to change my practice routines or what I'm doing in preparation for
58.
going up there and playing games on the tour or on stage. But whatever it is, it's working. Because he said at the start of the year, when he was asked about the Premier League being back in there, look, I'm playing the best I've ever played on the practice board. And we were like, okay, yeah, you hear that a lot. Let's see if you can do it on the tour. And he is doing it on the tour, and he's doing it over and over.
Well, he had a run of
20 unbeaten games, hasn't
he? 5 consecutive tournaments in which he reached at least the semi-finals, winning a couple of them. And I must admit, when I watched him at the UK Open, I thought it was certainty that he was going to go on and win it. That's how well he was playing.
Well, it took something special from Nathan Aspinall to stop him. And even then, he nearly didn't. Double top. And that is an absolute annihilation of Scott Taylor in that leg, because Scott Taylor isn't even halfway down from 501 when Gerwyn Price checks out for a 3-0 lead.
Let's just go back to that UK Open match against Aspinall as well, because people are quick to point the finger at Price, but it was an ultimate show of sportsmanship at the end of that tie.
Oh, he's everybody's best mate here. And look what happens. It's become, I know this word pantomime has been thrown around a lot. It was not pantomime stuff in some of those games. At the World Championship, for example, the crowd were barracking him, and they really were tearing into him. And even Gerwyn Price, who seems to just shrug off whatever is thrown at him from the fans, it's got to have been tough to deal with. Now what happens is, because he's playing such good stuff, he goes up there on the walk-on, boo, boo, you rubbish, don't like you. And then within 2 legs, he's throwing 110 average, and they go, oh, he's all right, actually, yeah, he's quite good.
95.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happened in his next match, which he's already halfway to, because he will play either Michael Smith, who openly said that players, including him, will try and get under Gerwyn Price's skin if they play him this year, because they know what buttons to press with this suspended ban hanging over his head, or Krzysztof Ratajski, who he's got a little bit of history with, particularly at the Players' Championship finals at the end of last season.
Yes, he does. Oh, that's lovely. Really good set-up shot from Scott Taylor, which is more than can be said for Gerwyn Price's last visit, because he switched the 18s and left a bogey number.
50.
I think he feels this leg has gone. Is he right? No, not yet at any rate.
150.
115. And now he's smelling blood.
95. Scotty required.
Well, that would have been 4-0 with a double break, and it could have been game over. But he might get another crack, because it's the madhouse for Scott Taylor.
8.
And that is the look of a man who feels this game might be unwinnable.
10.
But he chose to go 3-1-1 with 5 remaining in the previous visit. This means he's got no margin for error. He could only miss above, which he's done, and that looks perfect. Even better, double-barreled guide, and he finds a way below it. What was that?
Well, it's an average ruiner, I'll tell you that. Because up until that point, Gerwyn Price was serenely cruising along with a big 10+ average. Not so much now, but it won't matter so much as long as he gets the job done. And as you say, Michael Smith or Krzysztof Ratajski in the next round for the winner of this one. Whatever combination of players we get, you think we're going to see some real quality.
I think the onesie costume we just saw from the guy who sat at the front of the crowd was meant to be a bull. But nobody has really taken the bull by the horns so far in this tournament, have we? We're yet to see an average of over a ton. And Price was threatening it until that leg. I think James Wade was somewhere near it earlier on. Adam Hunt yesterday, one of the best performers, but that was thanks largely to him being almost perfect on doubling.
Yeah, very impressed with James Wade this afternoon. An average in excess of 97, close to 98. Very good finishing, and he was pushed by Wesley Plaisier in that one.
Price is being pushed here now, because all of a sudden, having
60.
Wrapped up the first 3 legs in no time at all, he's facing the prospect of it being cut and the match being back on throw.
This might change things, though. 3 clear darts at tops. You fancy Gerwyn Price to pin it. Will he get a go? He will. And you see there's a point we made to Scott Taylor's opening round game. That's quite explosive and violent action when he misses. Sometimes he misses by a long way, Scott Taylor.
Price is missing far too frequently on the outer ring. Taylor is going to get 2 darts at the same target. And he only needs 1, and he is just 1 behind and throwing first to tie it up at 3 apiece.
Well. This game has changed rather starkly in the last couple of legs. Gerwyn Price.
Well, he's had a bit of a spillage on the table. Perhaps too much ice.
120.
And the crowd are enjoying it. They're entertained by anything, aren't they, the Euro Tour crowds? They will cheer anything.
85.
They have been singing, I'm reliably informed by our colleague Paul Nicholson, who's been out there. They've been singing There's Only One Scott Taylor.
100.
Change the words from another famous song.
How did that one go?
There's only one Scott Waits.
140.
Only two Martin Atkins, who we saw yesterday.
87.
Well, at least two.
There's only one leg between this two right now.
134.
Price finding two trebles to get himself down to a finish, but Taylor could be rather more handily placed after this visit.
41. Going higher, 142.
Another one in there leaves his favourite double top.
86. Score to require 150.
Taylor can't quite produce the moment of magic that he needed, so
94.
Price
Going require 56.
will try again on tops. Well, this time he finds double 10 and restores that two-leg lead.
7 flag go into throw first. Game on.
Well, look, Scott Taylor got a let-off and was allowed an avenue back into this game by Gerwyn Price
59.
missing. He cannot rely on that as plan A. He's got to raise his game
140.
if he is to win this.
Brings us to the halfway stage of the afternoon session,
140.
and 4 exciting encounters to follow. Dave Chisnell against Ted Evans coming up next. Johnny Clayton against yesterday's top performer Adam Hunt. That Smith-Ratajski match which I mentioned, and then Daryl Gurney against Jeffrey Desvan to end proceedings for the afternoon.
98.
Not a bad lineup.
Yeah, really. I mean, Daryl Gurney, Jeffrey Desvan, it could be 180s all over the place in theory in that one. But I do like the look of
140.
Michael Smith, Christoph Ratajski.
Taylor threatening to break back, but that's a time return 40 from Price. Gets 2 darts. Oh, and again needs one. Clinical kill. 11 dart leg out of the blue for Taylor. Has got the game back on throw again. Well, he enjoyed it, but I'm not sure his dad did.
It's the saddest ball I ever did see. Oh, it's so hard. Life as a ball in Leverkusen.
42.
Maybe he'd whacked money on Ian White.
One of many possible reasons.
95.
That might cheer him up a bit. Or maybe not.
I think it did a bit, yeah.
He's doing a best. Come on. Oh, give him something to work with. What do you want?
43.
It is the second max for Gerwyn Price. And it seems like every time Taylor carves out an opening for himself, Price slams the door. But this time, Taylor could level up for the first time.
135.
Well, the 80 checkout should at least mean you get 1 dart at a double. This should have meant you at least get 1 dart at the ball, and he has missed the big number.
Well, so far, 1 or 2 darts at double hasn't been enough for Gerwyn Price. He's earned himself 2. Is it enough? It is on this occasion, and there is the trademark roar from the Iceman, who now must feel like he has got a tight grip on this tie.
He's missed 11 darts at double in this game, Gerwyn Price. He's still averaging about 95. It's a curious performance, but it's one of those where the real top players in the world, they have this ability to look like they're playing nowhere near their best, and then, oh, hang on, that's a pretty respectable average, that.
Yeah, number 7 in the world at the minute, Gerwyn Price, but there are players above him who've got chunks to defend this season. I think the one who is defending the most in the top 7 or 8 is Peter Wright.
Peter Wright, of course, yeah, the UK Open has come off. He had all his Euro Tour wins.
Perhaps not the most in terms of amount of money, but certainly the highest percentage of his prize money.
Well, Rob Cross has got a big old chunk to come off as well, but not until the World Championship, of course. But this will close out a 6-3 win, not one that has been especially laboured. Certainly not towards the end, because Gerwyn Price, when he was put under a bit of pressure, put his foot to the floor and won it by 3 clear legs. It is a winning return to the European Tour for the Grand Slam champion. He picked up his first Euro Tour title last year, and look what that led to. He became a major winner in PDC darts, and this year on the Euro Tour he is one of the star attractions, and he will go up against either Michael Smith or Christoph Ratajski in a mouth-watering third-round game tomorrow afternoon. Coming up in a moment, though, it is Chizzy and Ted Evans.
Congratulations, 3-0 up, and then it sort of slipped away a little bit. What happened?
Yeah, same as what's been happening in the last couple of weeks. I'm missing doubles and letting players back in, but I was scoring pretty well early on, and I knew my scoring game was there, so if I kept playing well, give myself chances, I was going to win, and I felt I probably should have won that game, maybe 6-0, but I let him back in and give him chances, and he took them, so fair play to him, but at the end of the day, I won, and that's all that matters.
Wir haben ihn gefragt, 3-0 hat er geführt, dann hat er Scott Taylor so ein bisschen zurückgelassen in die Partie. Er sagte, ja, ich habe das gemacht, was ich in den letzten Wochen die ganze Zeit mache. Ich lasse Spieler zurück in die Partie, ich verpasse meine Doppel, und das sollte ich nicht machen. Das ist ein Spiel, das ich eigentlich vielleicht 6-0 hätte gewinnen sollen, und dadurch, dass ich meine Doppel vergebe, ermögliche es meinem Gegner wieder zurückzukommen. On Thursday you play the Premier League in Berlin, now Saturday here in Leverkusen. How exhausting is the schedule that you're having at the moment?
Yeah, it's very tiring, but you know, we're used to it now. Last year I didn't enjoy it. I knew what to expect this year, and you know, you just got to knuckle down and get on with it, and you need to think positively, which I've been doing this year, and I've been doing a lot better. I didn't expect any boos tonight, but I got them. There we go, I dealt with it all right.
Ich habe ihn gefragt, am Donnerstag hat er die Premier League noch gespielt, jetzt am Samstag schon wieder in Leverkusen. Wie anstrengend ist dieses Programm, das er da hat? Sagt er, sehr anstrengend natürlich, aber man muss positiv denken und man muss durchziehen. Er hätte nicht damit gerechnet, dass er heute ausgebuht wird, sagt er. Die Boos sind doch gekommen, sagt er, aber durchziehen, und dann geht's weiter in der dritten Runde. Wir sagen Glückwunsch dem Iceman Gerwyn Price.